Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be listening to Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars perform Die With a Smile. So, I really dig Bruno Mars's voice, his style, his timbre, and I gotta admit that I haven't really heard a ton of Lady Gaga's music. I remember hearing a couple of things back in the day, like Poker Face, I think she did, but overall I'm not as familiar with her voice. And I also have heard rumors that she changed styles, essentially, in terms of her vocal ability, so I'm really excited to hear how she performs and sings in that regard. But overall, what drew me to this was Bruno Mars, but I'm also really excited to hear Lady Gaga perform in a way that is more reflective of who she is right now. So I'm really excited to jump into this. I have no idea what to expect. It's been ages since I've heard either of their music. So I hope you guys are excited as well. So without any further delay, let's jump into it.
I just woke up from a dream where you and I had to say goodbye. And I don't know what it all means, but since I survived I realized wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night. Like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I wanna hold you just for a while and die with a smile. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
His phrasing, oh my gosh. Woo!
Lost in the words that we scream. I don't even wanna do this anymore, 'cause you already know what you mean to me. And our love's the only war worth fighting for.
Wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night. Like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I wanna hold you just for a while and die with a smile.
If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
Right next to you.
Next to you.
Right next to you.
If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
to you. I'd wanna be next to you.
Oh. The groove, the vibes, the phrasing, the diction, the timbres. I was pleasantly surprised by Lady Gaga's voice. I think her harmonies with Bruno were exceptional, and the way that the song was composed, is yeah. There's a lot of things I want to comment on, so let's just jump into the analysis. Just right off the bat, coming in with this really beautiful, reverberated, closed ooh. Ooh. And you just feel that reverberate in this echo hall. And it just immediately establishes this tone with this very legato, very smooth guitar line. And then coming in with a very crisp breath. You just feel these different textures right off the bat in the music, and it's just so compelling and captivating because you get these smooth sounds with these very crisp breaths. It just immediately gives you chills. I love it.
I just woke up from a dream where you and I had to say goodbye.
And his phrasing is just fully legato as well, so smooth and wave-like. Everything just flows together. I love this vibe. And his timbre, the natural sound quality in his voice just complements the style even more. Oh my gosh, I love this groove, dude.
And I don't know what it all means, but since I survived, I realized wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow.
And I love the fact that even though it's not necessarily overt in its execution, there is these gentle crescendos that just happen throughout his cadential phrases that just add a little bit more body to each musical phrase, and it just, it's so compelling. And on top of it, his diction. I can understand every word that's coming out of his mouth, which is actually pretty hard to do in this style of singing, because when you're trying to make something very fluid and wave-like, creating that kind of atmosphere sometimes comes at the expense of very clear, very crisp diction, because the more crisp something is, the more jagged it might feel, or the more sharpened it might feel. So to create this very smooth, rounded type of texture, sometimes that comes at the expense of very clean, very clear diction. But Bruno just has this best of both worlds right now, and this is something I love about his style of singing. You fully understand everything that's happening because he's really masterful at expressing his songs. And this is just so great, dude.
So I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
It's an excellent mix between an open O, yo, versus a closed ooh, yo. It's so good. And he's just so soulful with it. I dig it so much.
If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through.
His body language is just so powerful. Like the way he's just slightly leaning and his open body position. He's such an excellent performer, because the idea of it is, if you're an audience member, you want to fully engage with the artist. You paid money to see them so you can engage with them and their music. And if the artist is hiding behind something or if they're closed off in their body language, it may or may not affect the overall sound quality of their performance, but there is some level of disconnect between the artist and the audience. So to have this very big, very open body position, to be able to connect directly with the artist and their music, it's such a powerful feeling that you as an audience member get to have. And I absolutely love that in the way that Bruno performs.
And our time on earth was through.
Woo!
I wanna hold you just for a while. And
His dynamic control, just creating this gentle taper just for a while. And just creating this beautiful taper and immediately coming back in strong at this mezzo forte to forte or medium loud to loud volume dynamic. It's just his phrasing and his dynamic control, and it's just so strong. Same thing with his breath support. In order to execute these things very well, you need to have proper breath support. You need to be able to invigorate your entire body with your breath and charge that breath in a way that really supports the kind of music you want to express coming out. And he's doing such an incredible job with that.
with a smile, if the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
Next. Yeah, I love the way he approached that. Listening to that again.
Ending, I'd wanna be next to
Woo! This music video is also incredible. Lady Gaga did such an incredible job just picking up where Bruno left off with that vocal run. Very smooth, nothing too complicated, no tremendous vocal acrobatics, just this very legato, very smooth line, immediately picking up from where Bruno left off. Chef's kiss, dude. I love that. We're listening to that again.
Lost in the words that we scream. I don't even want to do this anymore.
Something I really dig about Lady Gaga's voice is that it's not Bruno Mars's voice, in the sense that her diction is still very clear and she still is maintaining this palpable atmosphere of this wave-like structure. But there is a certain crispness to her voice, which adds just enough contrast, not to stray from this atmosphere, because it still feels very natural and very intrinsic to the tonal center of the piece. But she adds just enough dynamic contrast between their two voices that the entirety of the song is just so compelling. Whether it's one of them, whether it's Bruno singing, whether it's Lady Gaga singing, or whether it's both of them harmonizing. And when they do harmonize, it's just bliss, because their timbres mesh very well together and their vibratos are... And even though Bruno's vibrato has a little bit more weight to it, and Lady Gaga's is a little bit more light and a little bit more delicate, at least in this song, having both of them mix with their beautiful resonances is just so powerful, and I'm really excited to get to that point. But at least for right now, Lady Gaga's voice is exactly what I want in this kind of vibe. It's still capturing me, it's still very compelling, and it still fits within the atmosphere of the piece. Excellent stuff right here.
You already know what you mean to me. And
Love's the only war worth fighting for.
Oh, not for, but for. Giving a little bit of that guttural sound to it, just, again, further creating this stronger contrast and this tonal atmosphere. Oh my gosh, dude, I want to listen to that again.
'cause you already know what you mean to me. And our love's the only war worth fighting for.
Ugh!
Wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow. So I'ma love you every night like it's the last night. Like it's the last night. If the world was
being so open, just immediately going into that if the were, not were, but were, creating that really big open sound, making it very powerful and just completely encompassing the entire audience with this very warm, powerful sound, but it's not over dramatized. It's just enough to wash over us, kind of like a warm blanket kind of feeling where you feel the weight of that blanket, but it's not burning you, it's not too heavy, it's that Goldilocks just right. Oh my gosh, I want to hear that again.
So I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night.
Woo!
If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I wanna hold you just for a while and time with a smile. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you,
Right next to you.
next to you,
Ugh.
right next to you.
They both know how to be so delicate and fluid in their phrasing, and they understand what part of the song this is, so their dynamic is more at a mezzo piano or medium soft to soft volume dynamic. And you can feel that Bruno's voice is because it's a little bit more weighted. Even though he's singing very softly, you can still feel that grounding sensation where Lady Gaga's voice is very light and airy in this way, very lyrical in this way. So having this grounding feeling and this kind of very light and lyrical feeling, it creates this heaven and earth contrast, and it's such a great contrast. One of my favorite things in feeling through music. I really dislike it when musicians just have one consistent tone throughout the entirety of a piece because it doesn't add contrast. But when you're capable of creating this really incredible contrast but still fit within a certain atmospheric center, this tonal center of the piece, where everything just works together, both the music and the sensations that you're extricating through your music, there's something so profound and magical about those qualities of music. I love it so much. Something I love about that guitar line there is that even though it replicated the chorus line, that it was separated in multiple notes, kind of feeling, which again, a different, just a little bit of contrast in comparison to this very smooth flow-like line. You get a little bit more of this running sensation, but because it still fits within this atmosphere, it still feels very fluid, like there's a veneer that washes over that running sensation. And I'm having a very difficult time expressing this, but it's absolutely magical. Listening to that again. Also, just in terms of the set, I really dig the mannequins over as the audience and just having them focus on the band, but occasionally seeing just a couple of those mannequins there, it fills out the room without it causing any extraneous movement in the frame itself, which is pretty cool. And it also fits within the aesthetic of the piece. Ugh. I love the fact that they start off you with an H. With you. It adds a little extra oomph, a little bit of that extra energy to charge that word and charge it into the upcoming musical cadence. Excellent choice there, especially since we're not in this very soft area. We're in this more mezzo piano, mezzo forte kind of area, or medium soft to medium loud area, where we have so much room to either come back into our volume a little bit or explode and grow into a new sound wave. And there's just so much potential that you never know where the song is going to take you, but that's why it's so compelling. There's so much unexpected magic that comes from this, and it's just wonderful.
If the party was over and our time on earth was through,
I wanna hold you just for a while and die with a smile. If the world was
Just Bruno is giving off such Elvis vibes just through his charisma and his presence, dude. It's incredible. And Lady Gaga just being there, adding so much of her own charismatic energy and level of seduction that just comes through the screen. It's so palpable.
ending, I wanna be next to you. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you.
Yeah.
I wanna be next to you.
Beautiful. Absolutely magical. I loved that song. I loved that performance. The music video was awesome. The aesthetic of everything just worked really well. Their voices meshed so well together. I loved their harmonies. The composition of the piece was excellent. It was just so good. This video has earned its views, not just because of the popularity and notoriety, but it's an awesome song, and it was wonderfully performed. Excellent job, guys. I really, really dig this. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not hear to reply to all of them, so please just know that your comments do not go unnoticed. My live streams are currently Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so if you guys would like to stop by and say hey or ask any questions about myself or the channel, I'd be more than happy to be there for you guys. I am currently developing my Patreon, and that should be coming out relatively soon, and I will absolutely give you guys updates as to when that will be. I want to take this time to appreciate all of you for being here and watching these videos. It really does mean a lot to me, so thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.